So I was outside of my grandfather's house one day in Long Island in the suburbs, and it's not really a place you have a lot of barn finds, right? So I see the garage door of his neighbor was open, and I see these very familiar taillights sticking out, and I knew it was a 356, but it was absolutely covered. I mean, you only saw the rear bumper and the taillights. It was stacked with mattresses, furniture on top of it. I mean, you could barely tell what it was. So I figured it was a replica, of course. Curiosity got the best of me. I went and I approached him because he was working there with his garage open, and I said, is that a 356? And he said, yeah. I was like, is it a replica? He says, no, it was my college graduation present. I've owned it since 1979, 1980-ish. My father bought it for me for graduating college. And I drove it from the West Coast all the way back here on a whole cross-country road trip, and it's been with me ever since. I'm like, wow, it's a really cool story. Like, what are you doing with it? Would you sell it? And he's like, I would, but I have no idea what I'd ask for it because it hasn't been ran in a very long time. I was like, throw out a ballpark. Like, what can we agree on right now? I'm ready to buy it if you're willing to sell it to me. And so we shook on a number on it, and he was like, I'll do that, but not today. I need my son here to help me unload the stuff off the car. There's so much stuff around it. This is going to be a project, and I just can't do it today. Totally understandable. Like, I'll come back in a week. I came back in a week. Not today. My son's still not here. I'm too busy. Okay. I came back a month later. Kind of the same story. I let it, die off at that point a little bit. I tried again like a year later, and then 2 years later, and it had been like, I think it was 6 years I was trying to buy this car. So it was always in the back of my mind. My grandfather had since died, and so I didn't really have a reason to go back there. But I decided one day, let me just go back and see if he's willing to sell it. So I go back, and his wife is outside, and the garage door's open, and the car's visible still. So I was like, this is awesome. They still have it. They haven't touched it. So I go to the wife, and the area it's in is like, it's a quiet street in a not so nice neighborhood. She was like, she almost dropped the phone. She was so scared. I told her, I was like, no, like, John was my grandfather across the street. I'm his grandson. Like, as soon as I say that, she's like, oh, you're here for the car, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm here for the car. Like, is he willing to sell it? And she's like, he better be. So I was like, well, I have cash on me, and I, showed it to her. I was like, I really want to leave it here. And she was so surprised that I had cash. Like, she really almost dropped the house phone that time. He's like, he'll be back in 30 minutes. He went to the window store. He'll be back. Just let me talk to him and we'll get it done. I was like, okay. So I literally went in the parking lot. I sat there for 30 minutes and I drove back there, and he was home, and they had already started pulling things off of the car. I went up to him and I was like, so, the price we discussed like a few years ago, I understand if you don't want to honor it, it's fine. Just tell me what brings it home right now. And he goes, well, honestly, he starts to sell me on this number that he had in mind. I'm like, dude, you don't have to sell me at that number. Like, I don't know what your wife said to you, but like, I'll take it. We agree on a number that's a little bit higher than what we first shook on like 6 years ago, but totally manageable. And so I paid him on the spot, and I called a tow truck, and we're removing, everything you could possibly think of off this car. It was totally buried. And it had dents in the hood, huge ones. And I asked, what that was from, and the wife told me she used it as a step stool to go get like the Bounty paper towels and whatnot. So she was just like climbing, like the son had used it as a step stool because like this had been parked for like the entire time the son was alive. So the whole family was just using this as a step stool. I had never even seen the bottom of the car. I hadn't seen anything of this car besides the taillight panel. So when I agreed on a price, I didn't know what I was getting. We roll it out, and somehow it rolled. The brakes weren't seized. He had told me the car, it may not roll. The engine's probably seized after all this time. So when it rolled, I knew that it probably wasn't too rusty because drum brakes have a ton of parts that can rust in them and seize them. So we get it out, and all the metal's there. Like, all of the body is there. I didn't really look that closely underneath except for when I got on the tow truck, but all of that was there too. I look in the dashboard area, and you could see some blue peeking through when it was, its original color was aquamarine metallic, which was a 1 year only color that they deemed too hard to continue painting with the metallic back in the 50s. So they just stopped the cars after 1957, I think it was. And so this car being in 1957 was that rare blue color with a dark, like red wine burgundy interior color. So it was like the Superman spec that everyone gets Urises in now. And so I nicknamed the car the Superman step stool. Honest to God, pulling it out was like one of the coolest things ever, and I'm happy I got it all on video because every neighbor had came out of their house at that point to see what we were doing and see, you know, the neighbor's long car go. And it literally got winched up onto the flatbed. And I mean, I felt so bad. This guy was like standing there watching like his childhood get taken away. I mean, he was like in tears, and like the whole rest of the neighborhood was just like clapping because it's finally saved. I just felt really bad for this guy because the memories he had in this car, I can't even imagine. So we start tearing it apart when it gets, you know, up to our house, and we find things from his road trip. I found admit one ticket to a House of Women in Minnesota, I guess, when that was a thing. So yeah, it had a whole bunch of little, like, it had a receipt for a tune-up that cost $11, an oil change that was like $6, all from the 80s. It had a lot of cool relics inside. And so the guy just wanted his license plate back. It had an old Idaho license plate, said Famous Potatoes on it and everything. So we recently dropped the engine out of the car to see if we could try to get it unstuck and see if we could get it running on the numbers matching engine. But we found out, you know, the car had the 50,000 miles on it were original, other than being repainted in a gray color and having some Bondo work done and whatnot. But it was a fully original 356A with the 1600 engine. And it was relatively rust-free considering what we had here. So we're working on getting it back now, and I'm just happy to have saved that car after, I don't know, 1980 it's been sitting, basically, since he got it home. I mean, when he moved it into his house, it still wasn't running, and that was 25 years ago. So the car had been off the road for many, many years, 1980 basically. So let's see if we can get the thing back and running and go from there.
This month of VINwiki content is brought to you by Bridgestone, and the most exciting tire from Bridgestone right now is the brand new RE71RZ. That's their extreme max performance summer tire that is championing pole position. It's built for the grassroots motorsports crowd and offers much better on-track wear patterns than we saw out of the amazing RE71RS that it is now replacing. It uses Bridgestone's enlightened technology to deliver long-lasting performance and much more responsive control. And the RE71RZ is now available across North America in 45 sizes since December 31st of last year. This new tire meets all requirements for SCCA racing and will be eligible for competition use in 2026 for solo and time trials. This new tire is 0.74 seconds faster on a dry lap and 0.75 of a second faster in a wet lap compared to the outgoing RE71RS. This really is an amazing new sports car and supercar tire from Bridgestone, so check it out now, along with everything else that we love about Bridgestone, at the link in the description below.